Hello my friends, welcome to lesson 25 here in the Mindfulness for Violin playing course. I'm Henriette and today we're going to home in on the bow once again and we're going to practice spiccato bowing. Now you can see I'm going to start without a violin, so if you have your violin in your hands, terrific. We will be using it in a moment, but let's put it away for now. Now when we play spiccato bowing, we want to make sure that we focus on relaxing the right hand. So we've done this exercise in the past, we're going to do it again. Let's lift up both arms up high above your head and now suddenly drop them so that they just flop down like that. And I'm using both hands at the same time because I might as well relax my left hand at the same time. So let's do that again. This time breathe in while you raise your hands and breathe out as you let them flop. And let them just dangle by your side and observe what happens. And that is what mindfulness, of course, is about. We're going to be observing what happens. Shall we do that again? Take a deep breath in. Raise your arms. And when you feel ready, just suddenly drop away the pressure in your arms and let them dangle. Can you feel the weight of your arms? I've got this morbid thought always, what if you chopped an arm off, how much would it weigh? And I have a feeling that it might weigh quite a lot more than you think. So this is all dropping down when you come down from here, all dropping down and dangling there. And when you think about that, it's an interesting thought to make the basis for a good spiccato. So let's pick up your bow now and let's see how that might work on your violin. So when you've got your bow, let's think about where the balance point of your bow is, and I'm just going to balance it on one finger. I stick my finger out like that and I'm just going to try and find the balance point. And you can do that with me, just to try and find where it actually is. And there my bow is in perfect balance. This is where we're going to play on the strings with the bow. So if you haven't already got a little marker on your bow, let's grab a pencil and let's just write it down where it is. And I'm just jotting a tiny little line there. That won't do any harm to your bow. You will notice where it is and after a while that will just rub off. But for now it's quite handy to keep an eye on that balance point, because not only is it the balance point of the bow, it's also the part of the bow where you don't feel any weight when you hold it. So I'm going to suggest that we're just going to hold it here for a moment, and I want you to feel the lightness of the bow, especially when you compare it with when you hold it here. Now that your arm is so nice and relaxed, you might observe that it's much lighter when you hold it at the balance point, because both sides, both the upper half and the heel of the bow, are equally heavy there. So this is a good way of practicing spiccato because you don't feel the weight quite so much. The three ingredients of a good spiccato bowing is, first of all, you play at the balance point of the bow. Secondly, your shoulder is in its lowest position and your elbow draws little smiley faces. So in a moment we're going to do that. Okay. And thirdly, you want to have your shock absorbers, which are your fingers, really soft. And your fingers are going to move like that in a minute. Can you see there is some movement here? So those fingers can act as shock absorbers. Now let's just practice playing spiccato when you hold your bow at the balance point. So let's place your violin on your shoulder. And now let's go on the D string and let's play spiccato right here. And I guess that is a bit of an unfamiliar feeling, a bit of a weird one, but it is so good to help you find that lightness in your bowing. Now remember how your arm felt when it fell down, just like that. quite heavy. Let me find the balance point again. And let's go and practice just that gentle spiccato. There we are. So I'm drawing little smiley faces with my elbow in the air, having my shoulder completely down. And I want you to observe that lightness in the bow. Can't find my balance point now. I want you to observe that lightness in your bow and that lightness in your arm. That is really, really good. And now that it is also light, see if you can engage your fingers as well. So your fingers will go like this. I'm exaggerating, obviously, so that you can see it. But my fingers are flexible and soft. Here we go again. And this is exactly why this lesson is called Here. We're homing in on the softness of our fingers and on the relaxation of our right arm and shoulder. Shall we practice that once again? Here we go. And while you do that, you can keep it going whilst I'm talking maybe. So really feel what your shoulder is doing. Really feel what your elbow is doing. Really feel if you can feel your fingers go. Keep on going. Amazing. That is really clever playing. Now let's go back to the heel about halfway. So do the exact same thing and see if you can recall that lightness of feeling that you had a moment ago. So now we're going to find the balance point of the bow, and that's where we're going to be touching the string. So let's play your spiccato at the balance point. Here we go. And you might feel that you're now having to engage your right elbow a little bit more to create more impulse, because you're not holding the bow at the balance point anymore, but you've gone a little bit lower, you see. Shall we do that again? That's it. And all that we want to achieve with this lesson today is to become aware of what's happening. Just observe how much impulse you need to give that spiccato for it to come away from the strings. Of course, I have to just come back and make one note about the violin. Make sure that your violin's not drooping down, but it sits properly on your shoulder, so it is flat, so that what I always say is that if you put a little ping pong ball here at the end of your strings, it would roll very slowly towards your face. So not like that, because it would hit you in the face, okay, but slowly, it would roll really slowly. So just above the horizontal. And that is a good base to hold your violin for a good spiccato. Now let's move our bow hand back a little bit further towards the heel so that we are holding it in its proper place. And you'll find when you play at the balance point, where's my little line here, that I'm having to put a little bit more impulse in, but I feel that weight. So if you need to refresh your memory, just go like this and you will feel the weight into the string. So when you're ready, you can join me and wow, and isn't that a nice spiccato? And you've really built it up and you've tried to keep that relaxed feeling that you had. And that is an awesome skill. So whenever you've got spiccato in your music, you might do this exercise just before, so that you get that lightness of touch. yet with a good impulse, so that you get the momentum going of your spiccato. Well done, that was a very, very good lesson. And I'm absolutely sure that your playing overall will benefit from practicing this with me. So if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do so now. There is this red button in your right bottom corner. That is where you can click on. If you hit the bell button as well, you get notifications whenever I upload a video. So I very much look forward to seeing you again later on this week. Goodbye.